Hello, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 4. I am James FNX, and joining me in the booth today is Cool Papa Bell 2282. Papa, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm excited to kick my weekend off with some more rando here. We have got co-op InfoShare Randomizer for week 7 of the league.
Yeah, so all four of these runners, we got two teams. On the left-hand side, we got the Skull Kids sitting at 30 points. They're qualified for the playoffs already. You got Gamachu up top and Ramon on the bottom. And on the right-hand side, we got Shaktool's Digging Game sitting at 21 points. One victory gets them locked in for the playoffs. If they lose out, things could get a little interesting. On top, you got Ozder, and below, you got Ase. Co-op finish will share. All four of these runners are going to have the same seed. They've got voice calls that they're on, and where they can pass information where items are at, what bosses are where, things like that. And then it is a team average score. So the two teammates will have to finish. Everyone's going to have to finish, and then whichever team has the lowest, the quickest average time, it's going to be the winner here today.
Yeah, and like you said, Skull Kids have already qualified for the playoffs for sure, but they also really want to win this week because they still have a shot at getting the 1 seed out of this division. If they win both games against Shaktool's Digging Game, they will be tied with Mogliacci at the top of the division. And as nearly as I can tell, that will just go to a straight-up coin flip for the 1 versus 2 seed, because both those teams are just 100% tied with each other at that point.
Yep, and we're starting things off, splitting up locations, as you often see in these co-op seeds, pieces of heart all around. And we're seeing Ase head to Hyrule Castle. Gamma is going to head over to Eastern Palace area, where we see a red crystal at Eastern. Tower Hero is a regular crystal. I didn't quite catch what Desert was.
I think Desert was also a regular crystal.
Meanwhile, Azure and Ramon are going to head over to Kakariko, getting 20 rupees out of the Bonk Rocks. Just 5 rupees in the tree pole. Nothing much in Strassa's closet. Flipper's in the escape, or in the not in the escape, but the secret chest.
Yeah, and you gotta love the Randomizer already. We saw a spike roller over in the eastern area, and Chain Chomp, I believe, on the way up to Uncle, so that's good times.
Yeah, all sorts of fun and interesting things for runners to run into. There are a few rules as to what can be where in terms of Randomizer, but for the most part, you could be Upsal Linals if you wanted to. Got a bow sitting in Lost Woods. And also with a quick fake flipper, taking a look at the man under the bridge. No, it's not a fake flipper, it has the real flippers. So following those flippers, just finding some bombs.
Yeah, and you mentioned Oops All Linals. There are some restrictions on the bosses as well, so anyone hoping for an Oops All Trinex seed, not going to happen. We're on full boss shuffle, so that means 3 of the bosses will show up twice, and then the others will show up once each. So there are some limitations in addition to the normal just arena limitations for where the bosses can show up.
Yep, and we've got Ramond checking out Blind's Hut. Nothing much in the front. Let's see if there's anything in the back. Helping us out today, doing the tracking, is Derek. It's going to keep things straight for all of us. There's a lot of stuff to track. So you find an ice rod in the back of Blind's Hut. Ice rod a lot more important because Trinex can be just about anywhere.
Yeah, and for anyone who hasn't played Randomizer recently, a recent change to boss shuffle is that when you find a compass in a dungeon, you can now look at your dungeon map to figure out what the boss is, so runners will not necessarily have to go all the way to a boss fight to find out what it is.
Is Gamma heading over to the desert area, sees a heart container on Desert Ledge, gonna check out what Agana has. Didn't look like much of anything in the well.
Ooh, and Aussie did fall to that chain chomp there on the way to Saha's closet, unfortunately. That is gonna happen from time to time in Randomizer.
Yeah, that's one of the big things about Randomizer is very friendly chicken nut today. It's easy to get killed for no fault of your own, dashing from screen to screen, and kind of manage kind of the mental game. Is it can get frustrating at times if you get in a screen that is difficult to get past.
Yeah, and in a sort of normal seed, right, if you take a bad death, you sort of think to yourself, well, my opponent's probably not going to take that same sort of thing. But in Randomizer, probably your opponents are all going to take deaths too, just from, you know, a Lionel coming out of nowhere or a chain chomp they didn't expect, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Gamma getting through Mini Moldorm Cave full of shadows. We got a heart container. Peace heart. Master Sword. Gamma already got Master Sword. That's a pretty big advantage already for the Skull Kids.
Yeah, the one sword was in Agina's cave. We might see runners putting that off for a little bit, unless it turns out we need it for Aga or something like that, just because that's a little ways to go. But that
Yeah.
Mini Moldorm sword is definitely a nice one to have.
Yeah, we'll see if we find a book or something to tie the routing together and send our other runners over in that area. There's a big advantage if you find an item in one of these out of the way corner locations. You do get to split up a lot of the overall coverage in co-op seed pretty well, but even in a location like Agana or like Catfish can really put a wrench in plans. Man under the bridge too, you saw say prioritizing that one earlier on water checks.
And Gamma using that water walk, so with the flippers. Never hurts to be dashing when you can.
Yeah, especially when you get to have your sword out running across some of these screens where you just don't know what the enemies are going to be.
I gotta say, we are running out of locations pretty quickly to get any kind of Dark World access. I mean, we're down to pretty much Eastern at this point.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Three of our runners have gotten that Moon Pearl. We've not found a lamp yet for Agana. And we don't have a glove or a hammer, so it's looking like it's likely going to be an Agana seed, or Aghanim 2 seed or Aghanim 1 seed, but words are difficult sometimes.
We got escape as well, but yeah, without lamp or fire rod, the sewers are not in logic yet unless we find a glove.
Yeah, and going through those dark rooms, very, very tricky. Much more dangerous of a proposal in Randomizer than it is in a normal seed.
Oh dear lord, this spike roller over in the eastern area, this is awful.
Is it guarding both the... Yeah, it is. Oh, you can actually get up to the second set of stairs. What a nice little spike roller.
Yeah, some nice quick thinking from Astor there to find a way around that one.
Yeah, this is definitely a mode where you have to react a lot more than you normally would. Like, when you're playing a regular randomizer seed, you often just, like, take the trip to Eastern and think about other things you're going to be doing. Where am I going to go next, etc. Got to really pay attention and react in Randomizer.
Ramond almost doing the NMG strat there, but that was a red guard instead of a blue guard, so took a few more hits with that fighter sword to kill.
Nothing in Eastern so far, except for a better shield, more lag.
And same in Hyrule Castle. Ramon gonna go ahead and Death Warp out, so... nope. Probably was thinking about Dark Cross, but decided against it.
Cape sitting with Sick Kid. And nothing in Eastern.
Ooh,
So we're looking at a donation to a fish food fund here.
Yeah, it seems that way. That seems to be our only option. Could be lamp, which would get us into Aga, or maybe flute to open up some stuff on Death Mountain, but not much. Yeah, it's probably Zora lamp for putting that Aga 2 or Aga 1 in logic.
Yep. Couple of things it could be, but they're all single checks that kind of fetch questy stuff. It could be book. Book would be the one thing that would open up desert a little bit. Could be a possibility of a couple items there, but yeah, it's all a bunch of single threaded stuff for this lamp.
And Aussie was just there in Mini Moldorm Cave having to use bombs as his only weapon to get through those shadows. That was not a pleasant trip.
Well done by him, though, to get through that.
So you got to wonder then if our runners are going to very quickly notice that Zora has to have the lamp for them. The question is, do they actually go for it or just do Dark Aga?
I can't imagine you're going to want to do Dark Aga. Some of the rooms in there have several enemies, and getting swapped out with anything in the pool, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, Enemize dark rooms. As soon as I said that, I was like, no, wait, that's a terrible idea.
It's not what I would put on my agenda. Is Azur's about to get their Master Sword? So yeah, this is looking like a Zora farm seed with no access to a glove. Who likes Kakariko?
Yeah, this is going to be some repeated trips into Blind's Hut to farm for rupees, I guess. Is there a universe where it's actually faster to play the treasure chest game in the north of the Lost Woods? I have no idea the answer to that question.
Probably not. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine that's got to be the answer. The only thing, like, if one of these routes ends up at Ice Rod Cave, you could probably just, I don't know, you need a glove for that Rupee Cave. Yep, we're just going to be going in and out of Kakariko.
I mean, one thing we could try, I mean, Gamma's here most of the way through Eastern. There's that rupee room back here. I think it's like 90 rupees, which is not a ton, but it's certainly not to be sneezed at.
And Azure smartly is going to do a houlihan before getting those flippers. Doesn't get it, though. He's going to have to try again. Gamma does get through this dark room. Asa did not go through this dark room on his trip in. It's the vanilla big key, so we'll get a look at one item out of logic. And there, Azure does get into Houlihan. We'll pick up those 225 rupees, and we'll have money for Zora.
And Ramond, meanwhile, is doing some 20 rupee tree pulls.
Interesting. We found all three items in Eastern in the first three checks. Gamma decided not to check the big chest and see what the boss is before going through this dark room.
Yeah.
If there was a compass there, it would have given him a little bit of information and a decision whether or not to actually go through this.
But yeah, looks like he is just headed down for these rupees back here. This is completely absurd that we're just watching both teams farm rupees for the next 3 minutes.
That's the quote-unquote fun thing about Rando, is that the game does not care about your rupee count when it randomizes items, or what access you have to rupees when it randomizes items. So Azure will be the first to get over to Zora. with the cache, and we'll see if it is a lamp or a flute or a book or some other string along. Meanwhile, Gamma did get through all those dark rooms, did get the rupees out of the back, and is going to make his way to whatever the boss Eastern Palace is.
Yeah, I mean, what could we beat at this point? We could beat Armos. You could beat Helma if you are accurate with those bombs.
You could beat most stuff with what you have. You can't beat an Argus, can't beat a Cold Stare, can't beat a Trinex. But everything else is in logic. Of course, this boss fight is not in logic without a lamp, but... And it's a glove on Zora for Asder, is Ase. Not sure where Ase ended up hooliganing with flippers. That was interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see where that happened, but...
So glove will open up the back of Escape, and that's 3 more checks. Don't think we found a map or a key yet, so 1 or 2 items in here. Bombos, that's not going to do it. The mitts. Wow. Wow, what a revolt in development.
And there's even more reason why you wouldn't want to do Dark Aga on top of it just being awful in Randomizer, because it's not always necessarily Aga, so...
Yeah, and Gamma was not able to beat the boss Eastern Palace, so all that time spent navigating those dark rooms kind of lost out, and now Gamma's going to have to find some cash as Ramon is about to get this glove for Skull Kids.
Yeah, and I think that might be just a little bit of, I don't know if it's inexperience or just, you know, busy with thinking about other things and not thinking about picking up that potential compass in the big chest and saving all of that walking back to the back of Eastern.
It's just something you don't think about when you don't do Randomizer very often. Like, how many times are you going to open a chest that you know doesn't have anything?
So yeah, Asder is the first one into the Dark World here. Asi and Ramond are going to get their mitts at pretty much the same time.
And Gamma's farming this tier 1 tree pole as we find red crystal at Thieves Town. A lot of pendants on the east side of the Dark World.
Yeah, and I believe that was the green pendant on Pod specifically.
I'm not actually sure that what Gamma's doing here is faster than getting the rupees in Kakariko, but almost to 500. There's a flute in the brewery for Asder.
And yeah, this is an interesting choice. I do sort of like this. Asder skipping over Thieves Town. So feels like they're not really wanting to commit to going in there without Hammer until they get some sense of what's in these relatively item-dense checks on the south side of the Dark World.
Yeah, and without a mirror, it makes a lot of sense to have Asa do the checks in Skullwoods, see how many of the 2 items you can get, and then go down and do Thieves Town afterwards.
Although I might be picking up the Smith here, knowing that I'm just going to be running back to Kakariko anyway to activate the flute after a save and quit in the near future.
Yeah, that is something that I probably agree with there. Did get a compass check in Skullwoods? It will be a Mothula in the Mothula Arena, which is frankly probably the easiest boss in that room. Maybe that or Moldorm.
Our Hype Cave check Checks just a shovel so far.
Yeah, big sleeper of a cave there is just that shovel and a bunch of fill. Meanwhile, Raymond getting bullied a little bit in Thieves Town. First of our 4 runners ahead into the Thieves Town area as Gamachu finally gets the cash needed. He's going to head up to Zora. And no small key in the front 4, and it's a Helmasaur in the blind room.
Once again, doable with bombs right now, but that is definitely going to be slower than if you come back with hammer. So don't really blame Ramon for wanting to just put that off for now. Gotten most of the items anyway.
Oh, this is why Astor decided not to take the Smith. Astor took this all the way to Pod and is hopping in.
Interesting. I mean, so yeah, this makes sense. Because Pod is a pendant, right? So we're not necessarily going to have to beat it. So the fact that he's here without hammer only prevents him from getting the 1 item on the boss itself. So we can still clear most of this dungeon.
Yeah, and we find a tempered sword in the first chest. That's a good find. Doesn't mean it's bow locked, but all our runners have access to a bow, so not going to be a big deal there. And it's also, well, you won't have bow enemies in the kill room, but logically it's still bow locked. It does use the same sort of logic. It doesn't really care that the enemies are not where they are.
So this is always interesting in these co-op weeks, because I feel like you would never make this play if you were making this run solo, right? Because you would have a crystal that you could complete in Thieves Town, so you'd be really tempted by that, right? And so maybe running the long way around Dependent Pod wouldn't be as tempting. But with a teammate, you can sort of split up and cover more ground all at once. So yeah, it's always interesting to see how teams route these co-op runs.
Yeah, typically you want to have your 2 team members covering as much ground as you can without having 1 team member fall so really far behind in terms of loadout or crystals. So getting these very, very out of the way checks, like Pod with no hammer, is a very out of the way location. It's hard to get to. Takes a lot of time to get over there, especially with it being a pendant. Who knows if this is going to be worth anything or not? Kind of surprised that Azure didn't go up to Catfish first, as that's an even worse check you can get out of the way.
Yeah, we've also got Graveyard Ledge, which is sort of isolated at this point, so maybe they're thinking about stringing those together.
Yeah, that's a possibility. If you're banking that it isn't exactly the mirror at Catfish, you can loop it in with Graveyard Ledge at some point later in the race.
And so, yeah, here's this contrast, right? Ramon is doing what I sort of suggested before, right? Of grab the Smith, deliver him back while you're activating your flute. But Shaktool's Digging Game is opting for Asder going all the way around, and they chose to have Aussie go ahead and activate the flute and start doing some flute checks. Finding Red Mail in Misery Mire, but no progression there.
Yeah, and with Red Mail and a cape, going to be pretty safe for the rest of this run. The safety items are a lot more important in Randomizer than they are normally, because you just get into some situations where, oh, there's a giant spike in this bridge, you can't get around it, or there's 3 Lionels in a room as you walk in. So cape and Burna become a little bit more important. Still not required, but definitely a better thing to have, as we see a Lionel sitting here in Old Man Rescue.
I was going to say, and you said spike in the middle of a bridge as Asder goes to the back of Pod, but oh, yeah, there it is.
But there we go, yeah. Yeah, good luck with that.
Was that one just not moving? I'm not sure what's up with that spike.
It might be stuck on the rail and can't move. Yeah, it's just stuck on the rail. That spike is not stuck, though. And now with this activated flute, Ramon's going to get his Master Sword.
Unlucky from Gamma 2 there. Tried to go to chest game with only 20 rupees.
Yeah, math doesn't add up on that one. Be interesting to see if Gamma 2 decides to go to the back of Thieves Town. Or at least take a look at the boss. With this is Randomizer boss shuffle, so you don't need to bomb the attic. The boss will be available immediately. It looks like Gamma 2 is going to try and continue on, but Lionel decides to give a little hip check and send Gamma to the penalty box.
Yeah, and meanwhile, we're down to some not great choices. Ossie's going to go into Misery Mire with no cane and no fire source. The other option, I think, was to go into Hammerless Ice Palace, so not a whole lot of great choices left.
Yeah, they're getting very slim pickings here. This happens when you get a very linear seed like we've had so far. As we do know, this is Helmasaur, and Gamma's going to give it a run here. Well done in phase 1. And with just a Master Sword, going to put a bunch of arrows, and that's going to be a second crystal. That's going to be our first crystal, actually, in this seed for Gamma 2. And item number 3, I believe, in the Thieves Town on the boss. So there's one item in the back.
So we saw here in Mire Room 2, there's one room in every Randomizer that's just a billion guards running at you at all times, and apparently today it's Mire 2.
We'll get to see how all our runners deal with that, as that's one of our crystals today. Austin did get a heart out of Spike Chest. Meanwhile, Ramon also in Mire getting that heart. And Gamma needs some money.
Yeah, there is a nice setup for this archery game where if you fire an arrow just as the squid thing is in front of the second curtain, should always hit, so...
Yeah, for the first 2 or 3 cycles that works, and then the hands get a little grabby. Nothing found in Mire other than that heart.
So yeah, Asder is going to go ahead and do the back of Thieves with no hammer, as I think Aussie is going to be maybe routed to Ice at this point? Or no, might just follow Asder into Thieves.
Yeah, it's a tough call. We're in the same division, my team is, as these two teams, and we were in a very similar situation last night. Unfortunately, we decided to bail on a one item upstairs Thieves Town, and that had our progression. So let's see what's up here for Asder. I think that's the last item.
Yeah, the back of Thieves Town is so weird in Randomizer, since you don't have to go there to beat the dungeon, and so It's sort of just like the big chest suddenly becomes 3 items instead of just 1 that you might be leaving behind if you skip the back.
Catfish has a lamp, so that puts the left side of Meyer into logic.
Although I think we did find both a heart and the single arrow of destiny in there.
Well, that solves that problem then. So, hammerless ice looking better and better.
Yeah, here's purple chest from Ramond. I think that's new. But just $20.
Yeah, just $20. Pod. Chad asked about Pod. Pod had a sword and nothing else, I believe. Maybe that shovel. Also doing well to get through Helmasaur, picking up his first crystal as they're falling right behind. Have a little bit more problems getting these bombs to break the shell.
But that tempered sword coming in handy for the last phase, at least.
Gamma's going to dip into Pod with that lamp. We know that there's not a lot in here for him. So yeah, it's looking like a dive into ice at this point.
Yeah, unless there's something we're forgetting, I think there's just nothing else left. Oh, as we're going to go check out that shovel real fast.
Just some firewood at the shovel spot.
And this is probably Aussie going over to Catfish.
Yeah, I don't think anyone on their team has on the Digging Shaktool's game has gone over there yet, so Aussie will get lamp. I don't know if Azur's going to be in a hurry to go grab it, having already done most of Pod and most of Eastern.
Yeah, still got that mire basement that's going to be unpleasant in the dark.
Yeah, you might. This Catfish is such a bad location to get to. You're definitely going to want the lamp. Even if you're comfortable with dark rooms and have a bunch of safety equipment, lamp just makes things a lot smoother in these dark rooms in Randomizer. And Ramon going to check upstairs for Skull Kids, find that last item. Remembers you don't need to bomb the attic. And Azur's immediately going to go get this lamp. Pyramid we're getting a look at, I think, for the first time. Just 20 rupees, though.
Aussie's actually going to grab it, as miserable as rupees have been this seed.
Yeah, I thought we signed up for some Randomizer, not Farmville. And this looks like the Ice Palace play for Masu.
Yeah, and I think both team members of Shaktool's digging game are headed that direction.
Yeah, I don't think they really have anything else to do. Oh, Aster's going to check Eastern Palace and see what the boss is. Gonna find out, unfortunately, that it's not beatable.
So there's a decent chance that whatever we need to find in ice is in this first chest right here.
Yep. Bombos Medallion going to be an all-star here. Going to clear out a bunch of different enemies. Although everything in here does die quickly to a bow as well. Uh, 20 rupees, not what we're looking for. The switch room is a nightmare.
I would just like to say, God bless the killable thieves option.
It's definitely a good option.
That big Stalfos is one room early, though.
Yeah, none of these rooms in Ice Palace are really giving Aussie a break here. With no cane, no icebreaker. Not going to hit the switch because we can't beat this dungeon. And Ramond is now into Ice Palace as well.
Oh, he's going to regret not hitting that switch if we find the hammer in iced tea.
Yeah, that could come back to bite him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else our progression could be right now. I guess Hookshot would open up East Death Mountain to us, so that would be pretty big. Mirror would open up a lot of things.
Yeah, Hookshot, Mirror, Hammer. Hookshot opens up a lot more than Hammer, actually. It could be something as innocuous as Book. But it's not 5 rupees. That's 2 items at ice already as well. And Aster did open up that big chest that Gamma skipped in Eastern Palace, but it only had the map, not the compass, so this Trinex is going to be a surprise.
And a very rude surprise, like most of the surprises you get in Randomizer.
Yeah, there typically aren't good surprises in Randomizer.
There it is, hammer and iced tea.
Why do you say these things? Why do you bring this out to the world? So that opens up hammer pegs. Ice Palace. That's all 3 items in Ice Palace. So not killing the dungeon doesn't really matter that much. We'll have to come back, but
I think that's actually mismarked though, because I think Ice Palace is our other junk pendant. So I think we were never really interested in beating the boss anyway there.
Oh, Ice Palace. Oh yeah, okay, that works. That works even better then. So yeah, all 3 items at Ice Palace done. Azure immediately making his way into Ice Palace to get that hammer. But this only opens up. Yeah, I think this only opens up hammer pegs as a check. Pod is beatable now for the green pendant, so that's another check. So all the seed has is a little bit of bits of string to guide you along. No really opening up points. Is just a bunch of cash and hammer pegs.
We're going back into pod now. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamma and Ramon will get to split this up a little bit.
Oh, also Spike Cave is open.
Yeah, Spike Cave is the third option. And also doing the Smith chain. That hasn't been done for Shaktool's digging game yet.
Gamma doing Spike Cave on 6 hearts. Does have a red potion, I believe, but won't need to use it, and gets 20 bucks.
So into pod it will be. Everyone coming in, welcome in. You're watching the Link to the Past Randomizer League. Watching co-op info share Randomizer between the Skull Kids on the left and Shaktool's digging game on the right, and we've got a real, very, very linear seed so far.
Yeah, both teams getting funneled into eventually a trip into Pendant Ice Palace for Hammer and Ice Tea after having to scrabble around for rupees in the cushions of the couch to get enough to pay off Zora for their Dark World access.
So Ramond is heading into Thieves Town Big, so there must still be an item there. But Oz is heading over to Pendant Pod to get those 2 checks. Gamma following suit for Skull Kids. Fire Rod sitting in the basement of Thieves Town. So that opens up Eastern Palace and Skull Woods.
Yeah, I think there's not an item on that Trinex in Eastern, but we can beat it for that crystal now.
Yeah, there's no item on Trinex, but it is a 5/6 along with Skull Woods. So in total, it's going to be 4 items, I believe. I think there's 1 left in Skull, plus well, 3 items in total. 1 in the Skull Woods, plus the 2/4 Pyramid Fairy. What a delightful seed!
I feel like this comes up all the time in these sort of specialty weeks. Can you imagine this if you were playing this on your own, not with a partner to do some of these miserable checks for you?
No, this would be a giant, giant mess. Gamma taking on the blind fight. A lot harder in this room where you can't get above it and get the scripted fight in. No magic for Cape either. Does get through phase 2. Nicely done by Gamma, getting this green pendant to some cash.
Yeah, chat pointing out this fire rod is going to be a little bit rough for Shaktool's digging game, that they're going to get to this pretty late. I mean, they are both finishing a crystal. Oh no, they're finishing the green pendant together. So yeah, this is going to be some time that definitely hurts them unless this green pendant turns into something really important.
Yeah, and it's not even that big of an advantage because Gamachu has already gotten that done as well. As Ramon getting through Mothula gets a big key for his trouble. And let's see what this green pendant has. It's a mirror. Wow.
That is definitely a big bailout for Shaktool's digging game, that they're not wasting their time here, but that also means that they might not get back to Thieves Town for quite a while.
Yeah, I think that might be the nail in the coffin, unless one of them decides, hey, I just need to go back to Thieves Town immediately. That mirror is going to open up a fair bit. It's going to open up the mountain. It'll open up Swamp Palace. Won't be able to beat it without a hook shot, but a lot of things just got to open up with that mirror.
And Aussie there just waiting for Blind to come down to the bottom half of the screen before really starting the fight. Not a bad idea.
Ramon finishing cleaning up Skull Woods and is likely going to head over and get that mirror now out of Palace of Darkness via Sarasala. Let's see where Azure takes this mirror directly to the mountain.
Mirror is also going to give us desert access.
Yeah, I would guess that's where Asa is going to go once he gets his mirror, is to head over to desert, split up some of this work.
Yeah, this just does feel really rough for Shaktool's digging game at this point, because, you know, while they do both have their mirrors, they do not know where that fire rod is yet.
Yeah, and it's a long way away. Unless they run into another Trinex in one of these dungeons, it's just not going to be on their mind. Because with the lamp, they're not going to be blocked. That fire rod is only blocking bosses for them. Gamma getting Mire Shed is going to take a look at Desert.
Aussie just casually jumping down through a spike roller to get into Spiral Cave.
It's interesting that they decided to split up their work this way, with one person going into Hare and the other person going to the east side of Death Mountain.
Yeah, in this spot on my own, I would probably leave Hera until very last, hoping that I found the hookshot somewhere on East Death Mountain, but, you know, I think it makes sense to split it up like this. Oh, this is an awful boss. Helmasaur on top of Tower of Hera is just terrible. Because while he is standing over top of that pit, your hammer does not actually do damage to the mask.
Yeah, and Helma just likes to sit on top of that pit all the time. It's where he lives. Phase 1 through, and Phase 2 through. Nicely done, Bazder. Small key on the box. I'm not sure if they got both items out of there or if there's going to be something left in the basement. If there is, it's going to sit there for a while as Azra's going to head over to East Death Mountain.
Oh, there's our red cane and the silvers in Super Bunny.
Those are a good find. So that makes Meyer beatable at this point. Unless it's an Argus there. That's the only boss we still can't beat. There's the hook shot. So, I think at this point we just need to check our Turtle Rock medallion.
Wasn't Turtle Rock still a pendant though? I think. Because yeah, we've
Oh,
got
yeah,
the
Turtle Rock
crystals
is a pendant.
showing on our screen. So
It was all the Eastern dungeons there were pendants. So, so yeah, I think at this point we are in no mode, and once Game2 or Ramon gets up on the mountain, we're going to be in go mode.
yeah, and now I have trouble seeing a way that Shaktool's Digging Game are going to get back into this one, because they're going to be able to, go to a lot of crystal dungeons and clear those out looking for Fire Rod, which means Back of Thieves is just going to be the last thing on their mind at this point.
Speaking of our Quake for Turtle Rock, there it is in Checkerboard Cave. Not going to need to get into Turtle Rock today, though, as Gamma's going to head up the mountain. Like you said, but that's Samaria. Going to see a Desert and Meyer double dip here, get these two dungeons out of the way. So Ramon going to finish up Eastern Palace here, and then hopefully by that time we'll get the news to head up the mountain. Game with nice timing on that jump over the roller as well. We saw that earlier with Thossi. So Ase in Swamp, Azure in Desert, and Gamma's about to have some good news for Ramon.
Yeah, we know Ossie's just not going to find anything really helpful in here.
Yeah, at this point, the only things that, in terms of quality of life, would be another sword and half magic. We're not going to find any of our progression here. One of my favorite features about Randomizer, the vaguely uncomfortable number of eyes on mold worms.
Yeah, just enough to weird you out, right?
Yeah. 8 is too symmetrical. 5 is a very good look. Gamma going to tease us a little bit. You just got powder. Don't be afraid to use it. We have a cold stare in Swamp House for Aussie. As Gamachi does pick up Kane of Samaria, and those silvers aren't going to be the good mode, but Kane of Samaria is, so Skull Kids know where everything's at this point and know what they need to do.
Yeah, so Gamachu is sitting on just one crystal at the moment. So he's got a little bit of catching up to do as far as dungeon clearing goes.
The nice part about it for Gamachi, though, is that most of these dungeons are going to be pretty quick clears. Can go directly to the back in Skull Woods. The Hair Pot's going to be up in Hair Boss very quickly. Desert and Mire are pretty quick loadouts today. And yeah, so Shaktool's digging game just really on the hunt for this fire rod, and it's going to be so far away for him.
And at this point, we're not even sure if they remember if there is an item still in Thieves. There might have been a miscount there. That's pure speculation, right? But the fact that they did both go to pods simultaneously after getting the hammer makes me a little nervous that they've forgotten about that big chest.
Yeah, me too.
There's this very exciting Mire 2 happening again.
Yeah, the Hyrule Armory has moved to Misery Mire today. And getting some left side swamp checks from Aussie here. Not going to be anything, but can't blame him from looking at this point. Ramon's about to head into Swamp, and Gamma's getting his second crystal at Eastern Palace.
Yeah, Ozzy is headed back to the Village of Outcast area. Vortex in chat pointing out that we might see a trip into Thieves Town here, because they're running out of other stuff to do after Asder finishes up Meyer. I mean, what else do they have that they haven't checked yet? Right, Pedestal, I guess. This powder check that Ozzy's gonna do.
Yeah, none of them are very good checks at this point, and I think the last thing you want to end up doing is climbing up to Turtle Rock, knowing that you don't have a fire rod, knowing you're probably not going to get very far in there.
Yeah, I guess technically Ped could be in Logic without fire rod, but the key layout has to be extremely specific in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's definitely true. As Gamma is clearing out the armory now, and Ase is taking this purple chest away. We'll see where he goes after turning this purple chest in.
Nice quick Landmo fight in the basement of Misery Mire there.
Yeah, one of the more friendly bosses to have in that location. You really don't have to worry too much about the damage floor. This might be the Turtle Rock dip for Asder.
Yeah, that's about all that we've got left up here on Death Mountain, so...
Yeah, you just have to wonder if Shaktool's digging game lost count of items in Thieves Town. Gamma trying to do spooky action, not quite getting it. Gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Nice from Ramon there, busting out the powder to just get rid of that dead rock in the first room of Mire.
Yeah, powder very useful in a lot of different scenarios. Killing them dead rocks. That and Quake are the only things to take care of those dead rocks for good. A small key in the first check for Asder and Turtle Rock, so we get to keep going there.
Guess Aussie answering our question that there is an item left in Hera Basement.
And big key in the second check for Azure, so that's it for Turtle Rock. Where do you go now? This is a, well, they can't even make the Pyramid Fairy play. The Fire Rod locks both those Pyramid Fairy crystals.
Yeah, I don't know what else Shaktool's Digging Game has left. Asjo might just be clearing crystals while they figure out what they're missing.
Yeah, getting some thinking time in. But there's really nothing else for them to do. I can't think of another thing they have on their that they haven't checked yet. It's a possible play at this point.
Pokemon making pretty quick work of that Mire. He already had the big key from before, so just ran straight to the boss. And he's going to make a pretty fast trip through desert as well.
Meanwhile, Ramon on crystal number 6 here, almost into the back of desert. Gamma looking at crystal number 5, heading into the boss room of Swamp.
Yeah, it's like there's we've sort of run out of things to say, right? Skull Kids are in full-on boss rush mode, and Shaktools are in what the heck did we miss mode.
Yeah, this will be one hopefully they can just put in the back of their mind and forget about before ending. And this is race 1 of the 2 races this week between these 2 teams. So I'm not sure who's running in the second race, but Shaktool's Digging Game will have another chance to lock up playoff qualification.
Oh, unlucky from Aussie there. Bonked to get the big key off of the torch, and Wallmaster appeared right where he landed from the bonk.
Oh no.
Again, one of the joys of Randomizer.
I don't think you mean joy sincerely.
I mean, it's joy for chat. Does that count?
It's true.
So Gamma has done a pretty good job of catching up with his partner. It's going to be this back of Skull Woods trip and a little bit of the Death Mountain climb behind, but they both got Hera to finish. That'll go pretty quickly with that Hera pod available.
Yeah, unless this Gibdo does as good a job of guarding the back of Skull Woods as it has so far. And Azure is finally making his way over to Thieves Town. We'll get that fire rod shortly.
Yep, so it does seem like Shaktool's team game knew where this fire rod had to be once they eliminated everything else, and they were just like, well, I guess we'll just get that on the way into Skull Woods.
Crystal number 6 for Gamma is going to head up to Tower Hera while Ramond in this delightful Helmasaur fight. Does get through it though. That'll be Crystal number 7, and Ramond will be the first to head into Ganon's Tower. So Azure gets their fire rod. Azure gonna beeline into Skull Woods now. So yeah, chat, if you like numbers, you should get some numbers in the chat real quick. Figure out where this Ganon's Tower big key is. 22 possible locations. And since it doesn't look like Gamma's going to get to the tower before Ramond gets everything cleared out, it will be Ramond's job to find that big key for the team. Where do you think this key's at?
Oh man, I'm gonna say Firebar Room, although it won't be Firebars in there. Who knows what enemies we'll have in there this time around.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Bob's chest today.
So no keys in Hope Rooms. Ramond is gonna go ahead to the left. See how quickly Gamma can get through this miserable Helma fight.
Yeah, choosing to use bombs instead of the hammer. A little combination of the both, kind of speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, that was very quick through that first phase. Very nicely done from Gamma there.
Yeah, really well done. I don't know how much experience Gamachu has in Randomizers. That definitely looked like someone who has had that fight a lot of times.
Yeah, he used bombs on the Helma in, was it Thieves Town also? And looked really practiced with those, so...
Skullwood's done for Astor, and they're going to head over to Eastern Palace now and get their 7th crystal. Aussie following right behind. Meanwhile, still no big key yet for Ramond. We've gone through, it's 9 checks now. Looking at 10 through 13 here in Rando Room.
Yeah, this actually routes out really nicely here, because Ramond is going to do Rando Room just as Gamma gets in. So if it's not here, Gamma can go ahead to the right side. and then get to Ice Armos that way, worst case scenario, but also check Compass Room along the way.
Yep, and nothing in Rando Room. And Gamma is going to head over to the Compass side. You know, Ramon's going to head over to Bob's chest and then drop into whatever bosses at Ice Armos. 2 words every Randomizer runner fears the most. Ice Trinex. A possibility still.
Gamma getting wall mastered again.
Not in Bob's chest.
Oh, well, that's boring.
It's check number 14. So Ice Armos, the silver arrow, is going to pay off dividends as we get the vanilla Armos Knights here. I think that's duplicate number 2 this seed. We've had 2. There's our last small key, so it is going to be on the right hand side. We've had 2 Ice Armos and 2 Helmosaur Kings. I don't think we've had any other duplicates so far. There it is, with the Land of Misfit Toys, that Book of Medora, Ether Medallion, neither of which are needed today. Big key is, though, and game is going to make their way up. So it's going to be check number 18 for Ramond.
Gamma taking the lead over his partner there due to that GT routing.
Smart for Ramond to grab that Ether Medallion, too. Gauntlet rooms can be kind of a mess. As Vortex pointed out in chat, yeah, that's Ether worth the half second to grab for sure.
Yeah, typically the enemies you get in Randomized Gauntlet are less scary than the vanilla game because you don't have those Beamoses and things, but there are just so many of them that you have to kill, and sometimes you get some awful spike rollers.
Surprise rollers! It's the surprise no one wanted. Now, Gamma and Ramond are basically screen for screen here. My least favorite enemy in Randomized Gauntlet, these red jellyfish.
Yeah, the multiplying enemies there, not fun. So Asder is on the way up to Ganon's Tower right now as Aussie is heading into the final crystal.
And we find our last duplicate boss. It's Trinex number 2 sitting here in Landmola 2. And because of the shooter, it takes a quick turn.
Looks like we're going to see very similar routing from Asder. This is sort of the most logical thing. Check Hope Room, and then you have to go left afterwards. So.
Yep. Aussie should be getting into Ganon's Tower shortly after Asder gets done with Ice Harmos, so they should line up together as well. Just a full climb behind, unfortunately. And this powder going to pay off dividends here in the lamp room.
I mean, you know, at this point, we sort of meme a little bit about how many Ganon falls it would take for the team that's behind to catch up. But, I mean, realistically speaking, a Wall Master in an inopportune spot high up here in Ganon's Tower could do a lot of damage to the Skull Kids. So they definitely do want to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, that's the Randomizer equalizer is getting Wall Master at the top of this tower. Or even worse, getting Wall Master trying to go up through stairs and getting soft locked. As our first Vitreous appearance of the day. Nicely done from the shooting gallery on both sides there for Gamachu and Ramond. Smart use of the cape there from both of them.
And very similar timing for Shaktool's digging game. Going to get the same information that Rando Room has nothing, so Aussie is going to be able to go full right.
Pretty favorable Aghanim 2 here. Double, double, double. And Gamachu's through first. Ramon's going to have one more cycle.
Gamma claiming those all-important team bragging rights about that GT climb there.
Listen, all I know is Gamma went into Ganon's Tower 2 minutes before Ramond, and Ramond is right on his tail, so... Some fun bacon facts from Ganon. Nice clean 1-1 from both from Gamachu and Ramond. Gamachu getting beat up a little bit by the fire bats.
Yeah, it's going to be a very nicely synchronized finish from the Skull Kids.
Nice triple from Gamachu to finish that off. So, and a double from Ramond. So they're both going to cross this bridge in very short order, and we will have our winner here in game 1 of the series. And get those GGs ready in chat as Gamachu finishes. And right behind Ramond finishes. Official times, thanks to race time, 1 hour 22 minutes 33 seconds for Gamachu and 1 hour 22 minutes 39 seconds for Ramond. GG's.
We'll see if we can get Gamma and Ramond here in chat with us. I believe there are a couple of the other restreams going on some other Speed Gaming channels, so they might have to split their time up a little bit. But
yeah, we do have Gamachu joining us in here right now. GG's Gamachu, congratulations on the win.
Hello, GG's. Thank you. Fun seed, right?
That's one word for it.
Yeah,
Yes,
we were talking about how a runner would feel having this one solo and not cooperative, with Hammer buried deep in Pendant Ice Palace and Mirror sitting on Green Pendant and Fire Rod hammer locked. It's a lot of stuff in the sea that you don't really want to do.
A lot. It was just terrible all around. I think this would have been probably worse if I was playing this solo as opposed to having a co-op partner. Just because that Thieves Town Big Chips would probably have been totally isolated. It was terrible. And the glove being on Zora was no early flipper, so you really couldn't do the hula hand. Right? And, we were just bottlenecked into that early on. Zora, and then Ice Palace is just pretty gross, disgusting. Very disgusting. But, I don't know. I don't know how we felt as we were playing this, the whole time. Farming money the slow way too. Did they do hula hand start early on? It's just a lot of, I don't know how to feel. This seed is garbage.
Yeah, there was a point early on where I think all four of you were farming for rupees pretty much at the same time. Asder had not picked up the flippers yet, so he was able to hula hand after
okay.
It was clear that Zora was necessary. But yeah, it was some heavy farming all around.
Yeah, that was definitely fun. Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because right when we pretty much found out what checks to do, to Zora, I think he ended up getting flippers, and I started thinking, well, if we just held off on the flipper, you could have done hella hand. But, I mean, besides that, I think the sea was okay, kind of. No, not really, it was just bad. It was fun though to do with a co-op partner. But, yeah, just the glove, the fire rod, the hammer, Thieves Town, we did so many double dips all around. But Mountain having everything was pretty nice, at the very least.
Yeah, it all turned on its head when you guys found that fire rod in Thieves Town, and that ended up being the last location for Shaktool's digging game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate for them because they were getting the mirror about the time that you guys were getting that fire rod first. So then it was like mirror opened up so much for them.
Yeah, what was the mirror again? Oh, it was on Green Pendant.
Yeah. Yeah, the hammer locked two items that were big progression items at that point, because fire rod normally doesn't unlock that much, but with Eastern and Skullwoods and the Pyramid Fairy, it's a big enough find at that point.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we're going to have to talk up to Aussie at some point, though, because he had the flippers, and he did some sort of crazy hula hand setup where it looked like some one-frame movement stuff into the bush at the ferry drop down, and did some sort of hula hand setup there, even with the flippers. So
yeah,
I don't quite know what that was.
There is that hula hand setup with the boots. If you have flippers, that's another alternative. If you have flippers and no glove, so you can do it in the back of the skate. I'm not too familiar with that. We were talking about that, Riyamaru. Like, do you know how to do it? No, I don't. I know you have to do bonk a tree or something, but after that, you just don't know how it goes. I know it involves bonking a tree north of bonk rocks or something like that. I'm not too familiar with it. I've just been too lazy to bother. What are the odds? We got to see that's required, or very helpful.
Yeah, right. It never happens. Why bother?
What was the half magic? I see that Aussie has it.
I'm not sure where that was. We kind of got caught up in you guys cleaning up dungeons at that point. Basement of Hera, it sounds like.
Oh, Basement Hera. Okay. Oh, they did Hera. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna do Hera. I went in there first, but I'm like, I'm gonna finish East S Mountain Kids. There's a hook shot here, and it just had everything we need. Hook shot and Kane. Still a really nice bonus.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense, because even if you don't find anything, you can just go back and check it right after as Ase taking a death on Ganon. Not sure if that was a fairy. Nope. We're starting that fight over.
Yeah, I felt like the Randomizer aspect of the seed was actually not too awful. I mean, nothing really terrible. No ridiculous boss placements other than that Helma in Tower of Hera.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, just talking about the Randomizer was not too bad as Randomizers go here.
Yeah, not really. That Trinix kind of felt bad at Eastern. Because we got all 3 items, right? And Ramon left, and I'm like, well, I'm going to try to kill it to see if I could prevent a double dip. And it didn't occur to me, oh, I should probably open the big chest because we already gotten 3 items to see if maybe it was a killable boss. And of course, Trinix sitting back there.
Yeah, we saw that too. It ended up being a map in that chest, so you would have had to go back there anyways to check. But
yeah. No, but I don't think that... No, the Randomizer are pretty friendly all around. It's just the item location, which is not the greatest.
And Aussie getting done with the Ganon fight. Get those GGs in chat for Aussie. Crossing the finish line with an official time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 12 seconds. Aster getting ready to do his climb again. I guess... Oh, Aster forgot to grab a key in the basement. I only had 1 key or had no keys for the climb and didn't get a key in those 3 chests.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And joining us right now, Aussie. GG's Aussie. Quite the logic in this seed.
Yeah, plenty of bad locations.
GG's Aussie.
Catching up on what we've been talking about, it sounds like we both went into the Helmasaur fight after getting the hammer right away. So it sounds like that's how we missed the fire rod and then ended up last locationing it.
Oh, that's what happened to you then. No, we both were... I was in pod, double dipping it, while Ramon was doing Hammer Pigs and back of Thieves Town. So we kind of got the fire rod and mirror nearly the same time.
Yeah, so that explains the time difference.
Yeah. Oh, so that means you ended up like full clearing swamp and all that.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Now I have to see how we compare before that.
Yeah, it was pretty close because you guys were both getting that hammer at about the same time because you just had to full clear everything up to that point before going into hammerless pendant ice.
Yeah, ice was bad, but we still felt that they do it before us. But then what we had been doing wasn't too bad. So we felt okay, and then especially going for that mirror. Even 1 or 2 things left. Nope.
Yeah, I think you guys did make it into Dark World a little bit ahead, because Gamma, you did that full trip all the way to the back of Eastern.
Oh, yeah.
Earlier, and but like, Aussie, both of you managed to get a Houlihan in, which made the farming for Zora a little bit faster for your side. But yeah, things pretty much evened out by the time it came down to Ice Palace. Man, Scotland's not being friendly to Asder today.
Yeah, and then our end game was not something you want to have to rewatch.
No, this is just a bad seed in general.
Yeah, I had some panic routing in this scene. It's like, got the hammer, what do I do? It only opens up bad checks. Yeah, we're hoping for not a panic routing seed. in the next race.
And when is your next race?
Scheduled for 9. No. When is it? Is it 1 o'clock?
2
Hey.
o'clock?
2 o'clock. 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday.
Same teams, or are you mixing things up for game 2?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it the same here.
We're the same.
Hopefully it is less of a breadcrumb seed than this one was.
Oh yeah. The Zora and the Ice Palace was just terrible.
Like, we were almost thinking Zora would just be a lamp. Like, there's the
Legacy?
possibility of Dark Aga. Skip that instead of the big farm. But
We did
no.
consider that, but would you have done Dark Aga and Randomizer?
Nope.
There is no way I was gonna do that. We talked about, like, it could just be the lamp, and like, no, I don't want to do Dark Aga and Randomizer. It's not fun.
Yeah, this happened to me in my my last SGL race, that we had one glove, and it was like, oh, I think Zora is the lamp for Aga, and then no, he was just the mitts. So I was super glad I didn't decide to do a Dark Aga. Aster dropping into the Ganon fight here.
Alright, I'm gonna get going here. Thanks for the commentary, and GG's to Aussie and Aster here for this race.
Absolutely. Thank you for the race, and thanks for stopping in to chat with us.
Yeah, have a good one.
So we got Aster getting into the Ganon fight. Another solid 1-1. All 4 of these runners. Oz, yourself included, showing off a lot of skill in this Ganon fight. And into phase 4 already.
Very quick phase 4. Got that double as the torches were going out, and then set up for the double with the torch lighting afterwards. So very nicely done from Aster there.
Get those GGs into chat as Aster crosses the bridge. And finishes things up with the official time of 1 hour, 36 minutes, 55 seconds. Not sure if we'll get Aster to join us, or if he'll head over to one of the other language restreams.
Can take a second here to point out some more restreams coming up later today. So at 8 and 9, there are a couple of matches on SpeedGaming 5 and 6, and one over on the ALTTPR League. So SpeedGaming 5 and ALTTPR League at 8:10, and SpeedGaming 6 at 9:10 in the Invitational League. And over in the Open League, similarly, some other stuff going on tonight. Not sure if any of those are going to get a restream, though. So, yeah. But some more rando tonight, and going on through the weekend as well, as we wrap up Week 7 of the league here.
Yeah, a lot of teams making the push either to get into playoffs, get that playoff positioning, or stay alive, is what we're trying to do. A lot of important races still to go for the weekend.
And of course, want to give one more shout out to our tracker, Daruk. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you very much for keeping track of everything behind the scenes there, tracking all 4 runners for us today, which is never easy. So thank you very much for keeping us on track throughout this race.
Yeah, and if you want to make sure to give those runners a follow too. All 4 runners putting on a great show today for us. I think that's going to be it from us, though, today.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to the runners for putting on a great race for us. And always fun to see some co-op rando going on. So thanks everybody for joining us.
Everyone have a good evening and enjoy the races, and we'll see you next time.